The best Airbnb short-term rental investment property hotspots. Now, there are many ways to invest out there, and some are more mainstream than others, but Airbnb investing is starting to become one of the bigger topics in the investing community. Are you looking to invest in a property strictly to use for short-term rental investments? Well, now that, like I said, that's a very niche strategy and needs lots of consideration before you dive in head first. One of the things you consider the most is where you're going to start or continue your short-term rental empire. That's probably one of the biggest considerations that anybody that's doing short-term rentals needs to think about. We're going to discuss that in this video, as well as go over briefly what makes a good short-term rental property. After introductions, of course. Now, I'm Derek West, and you're watching Finance Squared. This is the best channel to discuss all things personal finance, including stock, real estate investing strategies, crypto, and so much more. Have you considered incorporating the short-term rental strategy into your real estate holdings portfolio? If so, drop a comment down below with where you're thinking your next short-term Airbnb rental spot should be. Also, be sure to lovingly, tenderly, ever so gently, smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and consider subscribing if you're looking for the best content of personal finance on all of YouTube. Anyway, short-term rental strategies, like I said, it's niche, it's unique. It's not quite like regular real estate strategies. It's so unique that you technically don't need to even own the property that you're short-term renting to make a profit. The downside to doing that, though, is that your margins will be thinner. You're gonna have to jump through a lot of hoops to pull off a strategy of leasing your short-term rental investment property and then posting it on Airbnb. You'll have to jump through more legal and possible other hoops, like dealing with your landlord to see if it's okay. But if you're not gonna be renting your short-term Airbnb property, you're just looking to see if that strategy is the right strategy for you to start or extend your real estate portfolio. It definitely offers a lot of flexibility, especially if you're trying to get a feel for the real estate market that you're in. And if you're looking for a quick and easy guide to which real estate markets in the US make the most sense to start looking at, well, then this video is for you. I did the research so you don't have to. And now might be one of the best times to get into this particular real estate niche, since according to AirDNA, that's a company that tracks the performance of 10 million short-term rentals. I'll call them shorties to make sure I keep it pithy. Well, they're predicting that shorties will grow by 15% in 2022, with the average occupancy rates going up to 59.8%. The annual average revenue for shorties that were listed full-time increased to $56,000 in 2021, the highest level ever, and 35% higher than the start of the pandemic. Now, could you stand $56,000 in your bank account in 12 months? Oh, the humanity. So if you've been thinking about it, now's the time to dive in. But if this strategy has been under your radar, you're probably wondering what exactly makes a good short-term rental property. Let's take a look. Short-term rentals have exploded in popularity all over the world. They've allowed your average Joe to become a hotel magnet, all from the comfort of their own home using their cell phone as the operational hub. But spotting a good one takes some practice. It takes similar practice to spot a good property that'll be suitable for long-term rentals. A good short-term rental has all the characteristics of a good long-term rental. It is in good condition or can be fixed up to be in good condition relatively cheaply. It has good property value, remembering that you make your money on an investment when you buy it, not when you sell, meaning that you're not banking on higher returns simply to justify the ownership of the property. And also that it has the potential to cash flow if you do everything right. Those are not the only good qualities of a good rental property, but those are the broad strokes. The difference with short-term rentals is that your property also needs to have a killer location, next to some tourist attractions, a major landmark, or other point of interest. It needs to be distinguishable in some fashion to really attract other users to the uniqueness of it, particularly for advertising purposes. And probably most importantly, it needs to be in a place with the fewest short-term rental restrictions. And that's why this video delivers so much value. We did all the research for you, so all you have to do is sit back and take notes on which spots in the country offer the best opportunities for short-term rental investing. Let's take a look at the individual spots. AirDNA, which is a short-term rental analytics company, analyzed 265 destination markets nationwide for short-term rental investment potential. And using their sophisticated algorithm, they determined the top 25 markets for short-term rental properties. AirDNA believes markets with the greatest potential for short-term rental investments will be concentrated in small and mid-sized cities, and rightfully so. Most larger markets either extremely restrict short-term rental properties with high tax burdens or, frankly, ban them outright. The AirDNA analysis stated, revenue potential of a small city/rural area in the US has risen 55% since the start of the pandemic, followed closely by mountain lake destinations and mid-sized cities. And even more important than that is that mid to small sized towns have much cheaper property values, making it easier for smaller and first-time investors to get into the game. Now, which properties are we talking about? Now, what are some of the best of these properties? Let's take a look at Maui, Hawaii. Most real estate investors, well, they write off Hawaii as a good place to start investing. Generally speaking, for long-term rentals, I would agree with that. Obviously, each case is different, but according to AirDNA, Maui, Hawaii is the place to be if you're looking to have a cash-flowing short-term leased property. It has an investor score of 90.7. Now the investor score, that's an AirDNA proprietary metric that measures how great an area is for investing. How great an area is for investing in short-term rentals that take into account rental demand, investability, and revenue growth. So you probably should take this metric with a grain of salt, but nevertheless, it is valuable. Based on their analysis, they estimate the revenue potential of an average full-time rental property in the Maui area at $101,590 a year. Could you stand an extra $101,590 of revenue? I'm sure we all could. They also estimate an annual occupancy rate of 72.8%. Another town that I never would have thought of would be Kenai Peninsula, Alaska. Generally speaking, I don't think any towns in Alaska are on the radar for real estate investors of any sort, except the most dedicated and of course locals to the state. But of the places that you could invest in short-term rentals, AirDNA says this is the second best. Their investor score ranks it at 89.1, with revenue potential of $44,124 per year and an annual occupancy rate of 67.3%. Next up on the list is Chattanooga, Tennessee. It has an AirDNA investor score of 87.9, revenue potential of $47,376 a year, and an annual occupancy rate of 70.8%. Gulfport in Biloxi, Mississippi, well, they're next on the list of greatest places for short-term rentals. Airbnb predicts it will have an investor score of 87.9, with a revenue potential of $44,322 a year, and an annual occupancy rate of 63.9%. We have Slidell, Louisiana next on the list, with an investor score of 85.2, revenue potential of $68,690 a year, and an annual occupancy rate of 61.6%. Now, another unexpected place where short-term rentals make good investment sense would be Crystal River, Florida, which has an investor score of 83.4, revenue potential of $51,118 a year, and an annual occupancy rate of 68.8%. Next up, we have Joshua Tree, California, investor score of 81.5, revenue potential of $85,363 a year, and an annual occupancy rate of 66.1%. Charleston, South Carolina, investor score of 81, revenue potential of $85,540 a year, and an annual occupancy rate of 68%. Then there's Galena, Illinois, investor score 79.7, revenue potential of $67,314 a year, occupancy rate of 60.6%. Southwest Harbor, Maine, investor score of 79.4, revenue potential of $72,772 a year, and an annual occupancy rate of 76.1%. Now those round out the top 10 best locations if you're thinking of investing in short-term rentals. Did you notice anything about all of those places? Leave a comment with your answer, but spoiler alert, unless you're from one of those places, you've likely never heard of them. I mean Slidell, Louisiana, Galena, Illinois, and of the places that you've heard of, such as Biloxi, Mississippi, Joshua Tree, California, Charleston, South Carolina, none of those places are near what I would call major cities or metro regions. But that is the nature of the short-term rental business. In major metro regions, you will likely have lots of competition from other Airbnbers and hotel chains, not to mention the regulations, restrictions, and taxes you're likely to face. But that's what makes the short-term rental business a unique one worth exploring. Speaking of unique things worth exploring, check out some of the other videos I did on mundane real estate investing. And consider subscribing and turning on post notifications if you like the best content on personal finance on the YouTubes. And of course, like this video if you like this video. And if you have any thoughts or questions on the topic of short-term rentals, drop a comment. I'll try and answer as many of them as I can for the first couple of days that this video is up. Also, share with your friends who are interested in personal finance. Heck, even the ones who just don't have a clue. And remember, a goal without a plan is a wish. A goal with a plan and no action is a wish list. Take it easy, guys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.